Hey everyone, Tech Steve here, and I finally got it here in the studio. This is the Hisense U7N. Now the interesting thing about this TV is that they make it in a 55, 65, and 75, but for some reason, I'm not seeing the 85 this year. So maybe Hisense has that coming out later on, but at this point, we just don't know. Now this TV is right below the U8N, which is the higher end of the tier. But the thing is that this has all the same features and more that you would find on the 2023 U8K. So I'm very excited to get this out of the box and give you guys my first impressions. Before we get started, I want to thank Hisense for gifting me this TV so I can show you what it's all about. Let's get into it. Before we get started, I just want to show you this chart right here, and the TV that I'm using is a 65-inch that has 384 local demi zones. All these TVs are Mini LED Pro. They will support 4K up to 144 Hz using variable refresh rate, and they all have the ATSC 3.0 TV tuner. So when you have a TV this large, you're definitely gonna need some help so you don't throw out your back. And I have Justin from our Gadget Gators channels. He's gonna help me go ahead and lower this to the ground so we can get everything up and running so you can see what's inside. All right, why don't you go and grab the other side? So let's go and get this out of the box. And on most televisions that are strapped like this, you basically gonna have all your remote control here on top. So I recommend you go ahead and open up the box so you can go ahead and get everything out before you slide the box off. It does come with this new silver remote control, the same thing that you're going to get on the U8N, and it does have built-in backlights. You get screws for the feet, and you get the standard power cord. It's not like the U8N where that one looks more like a three-prong that goes on the computer. Now this TV has a new design, and it comes with these updated feet, and they're made out of metal. And here's the plastic base that covers up the bottom of it where you can mount it flat or you can put a center channel on it. Once you get all your accessories out, all you need to do is lift up the box, get access to the TV. The 55 and 65 has a 10 watt by 2 amplifier, and if you go with the 75-inch, you're going to get a 15 watt by 2 amplifiers. One thing I will point out is that all three TVs has a 20 watt subwoofer, and I'll show you that in just a moment. I also want to point out that right here you only have one option to mount the feet, but the great thing is with the smaller base, it's going to fit on most tables. And at the bottom, you're going to have some controls. Now this one right here is so you can switch to your inputs, even turn the TV off. And there's a switch right here that you can physically turn off the microphone for the hands-free voice commands. When you go mount the feet on, you're going to see a little notch right there at the top. You just pretty much line those up. It sits like that, and then just go ahead and put the screws in. Now I really like the fact that Hisense are listening to the customers that we need big TVs with small bases. Here's the back of the TV. We're going to take a closer look, and keep in mind this new model has Wi-Fi 6E, so it's built for really fast internet, but it does have some other great connections as well. So here's the back cover, and one thing that stands out to me is that I did a review on the U8N and it had a whole new look to it, so I'm surprised that they didn't do something with this particular TV. It even has this ventilation that I remember on some of the older models that I reviewed years ago. And here's that 20 watt subwoofer I was talking about earlier. And one thing I know for sure is that Hisense televisions brings the bass. Here's a screw hole, so this TV is wall mountable. And on this side is where you plug in the power cord right there. So here's all the connections on the back of it. Now, one thing I want to point out is that it has USB 3.0, so it's going to give you a faster connection. You have a serial port connection, and that can be used for service as well as calibration or home theater equipment. And there's two HDMIs here that runs at 60 Hertz, but this one is eARC. As we go down here, we have two additional HDMIs, and these are HDMI 2.1 that will support up to 144 Hertz using variable refresh rate. And this is the screw for the ATSC 3.0 TV tuner. With adapter, you can hook up your older VCRs, DVD players, and it still has a headphone jack. This TV is fully loaded. And on the very back of it, we have your LAN connection if you don't want to use that Wi-Fi 6E, a fiber optic output, and you do have a second USB 2.0 jack on it. And this TV is shipped with plenty of protection. Not only does it have a cardboard piece that comes in a box, but it has these little plastic pieces that are on top of it right here. Now keep in mind, on Hisense TVs, if it does have a screen protector on it from the factory, you will see a yellow tab here at the top. That's satisfying. The last thing you need to do is just go ahead and put the base on the feet and you're all set. This Hisense U7N is powered by Google, and if you want to set it up, you're going to need a Gmail account if you want to get access to all the applications, plus you'll need Wi-Fi or hook it up to Ethernet. I prefer to use the Google Home application instead, and this allows the TV to be controlled with your devices at the exact same time. But if you don't want to do this, you can press down on the remote control at the initial setup screen and you can input everything manually. The first thing we're going to do is talk about gaming on this television because I feel that that's the most important part of this television for most people. So I have the Xbox up and I just want to show you that it will support 4K 120Hz refresh rate, and if you have a PC with a powerful video card you can get up to 144Hz, but you have to change some of the settings in the menu. Now here's the resolution on the television. As you can see, it will support everything that the Xbox can do. And if we go to video modes, you can also see that it does have auto low latency and variable refresh rate that you can switch to off, always on, or gaming only, which I recommend. Additional to that, it will support Dolby Vision gaming, as you can see right there. Since we're in here, I'm gonna pull up the menu on the television. As you can see, it's in PC/gaming mode. If we go over here to what they call gaming settings, you can see that you can adjust the contrast, the black levels, and I have the AMD FreeSync Premium Pro turned on. Even though the Xbox might not support this fully, it will accept it. And there's a high refresh rate if your game seems a little choppy. Another feature this TV has called Gaming Bar. And when you turn this on, you can see all your different settings. So right there shows the frames, if HDR is turned on, variable refresh rate, and auto latency. You can also adjust the dark details right there if the game's a little dark, brightness. You also have a crosshair, and when you turn that on, it gives you this little circle right here in the center of the screen, and that's good for first-person shooting games. And there's a couple of different types in here as well. On the More setting, you have a few other controls. Let's say, for example, you want to see your frames per second. By turning this on, up in the corner, you can see the frames that the TV is at, and you can move it around the screen if you like. You can change the picture size. You can even zoom into it. But automatic is what I recommend, or 16:9. And there's a few other controls if you want to maximize your games right here on this settings, and then you have your game setting if you want to go back to that. So that's pretty much all the gaming settings available on this television. Next we're going to check the input lag, and I have it in gaming mode, and this is on the 60 Hz connection just to see how it works. So we're getting 13.1 milliseconds. Now switched over to the HDMI 2.1 connections, and keep in mind this is only a 1080p 60 Hz tester, but it gives us an idea. And you can see that the input lag is identical, and I don't expect that if you have a gaming console that you're going to be able to see a difference right there. And as you can see, I'm using input 4.
Proceed. All right, Lieutenant. After every task, I'll update your TAPCOM. Checking in.
Hope you guys like to see the unboxing on this television and see some gaming on it, but don't worry, we're going to come out with a full review where we go over the menu system and show you more demos. But I did want to show you a quick sneak peek of the video quality on this television in theater day mode, and I can say that overall it's going to be a great looking television, but we had to dive a little bit deeper to see how good it really is. The last thing I want to mention is that if you've been following my channel, you probably noticed that I haven't been uploading a lot of TV videos. Well, I moved into this new studio, I moved into a new apartment, and with everything going on, I had a lot of emails, I got everything caught up, so now we will be focused back on televisions from this point on, and I might sprinkle something else in there from time to time. But I'm excited to show you guys all the TVs that I have, and we're going to do some great comparison as the year go out. I want to say thanks a lot for sticking around, subscribing to the channel, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe now. I'll wait. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Tech Steve, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.